If there's one truth in advertising, it's that sex sells. Unfortunately, there's nothing horny about the incredibly boring cleaning product, CLR. So instead, CLR went with this.
Looks like a CLR problem to me.
Told you so. Works on calcium, lime, scale and rust.
Kills 99% of germs.
It's also good for the environment. You can use it in your glass screw, your dishwasher and the washing bird. Machines, toilets, Barbies, taps and handles.
Goodbye, Graham. Goodbye, annoying stains. CLR.
Now we know who killed the Aldi backpackers. CLR even sponsors a show called Space Invaders. Now, you probably already own a bottle of CLR that you don't remember buying. Check your garage. It's right there next to the people Graham has tied up. Karen, will CLR creep up on people?
You look at the category of cleaning products and most ads come from overseas. They're really badly dubbed. So this will immediately have standout just for the fact that the humour is localised and it feels like something from Australia. I do think it's strategically sound. So CLR used to advertise a lot in Australia in like the 80s, 90s and thousands, and they have these really basic ads that would be like calcium, lime, rust. And for new home buyers, this is who this is speaking to, people who don't know about the product and would be hearing about it for the first time. And I think the insight of Graham comes from the fact that CLR is one of those secret products that's recommended by a tradie or a dad or a neighbour being like, try this is going to be the answer to your problems. What I think it actually demonstrates is why a brand is so important. Where a product, which is what CLR have, is the source in the bottle, but the brand is the stuff that you wrap around it. It is what consumers have an emotional tie to. So in cleaning products, you think of the difference between Dettol and Mr. Muscle and Toilet Duck. You can immediately imagine the worlds that they portray. CLR has none of that. It has no memorable brand assets. It has no distinctive qualities to it. So people don't remember what it is. And I think now they're trying to make up for that lack of brand story by creating a story around Graham.
There's a fine line, though, between clever and creepy. So, I mean, I think popping up by the window, that's sort of funny, but the pervy Spider-Man on the ceiling, I think that's gone too far, particularly for the market, because the market is decision makers at home, primarily 30 to 50-year-old women. And I've fallen for this in my own career. We created a campaign for ski yogurt called Larry. And the idea was there's a young woman sitting in a park. Larry comes up, and Larry's kind of a bit creepy looking. He's got braces and red hair, and he's awkward. And he says to the woman, "What are you reading?" And she's reading a book. She says, "Paperback." And then you spin behind Larry, and you see that he's holding a spoon, like a knife behind his back. And the line says, you know, "Be careful with your ski. Larry loves it as much as you do." And every time we ran that ad, the awareness went up and the sales went down. Because the market were not hipster advertising people. The market was mums. And they didn't see this cool, awkward individual. They saw Stalker. And I think Graham is borderline Stalker.
Borderline? He's in the shower with her.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very confused by this. I don't know why. I don't know why they bother. I don't know why they bother with the Graham. I don't know why they're bothering to actually spend all the money to create a storyline when ultimately it's a product that you put, you know, underneath the sink or in the laundry. There's a model that you use. Problem, solution. Problem, I need to get rid of the calcium. I need to get rid of the lime. I've got an issue with rust. Just do problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. Do it really cheap and run it in cheap airtime. It's very strange. Why would you create a character for your brand like this? Because how do you carry that on?
I love to hate this and hate to love this. I think this is a great example of dumb advertising done well. And I think the story is actually quite captivating. You're like on the journey with him. You want to see what happens next. He gets more annoying, more stalkerish, more creepy, and at the end you're still watching. So I think it's a really good entertainment piece. The alternative is really rational, functional, educational ads. They're not effective. It's really hard to connect with that. And I think that this is a differentiator for this category. I think it's, you know, good on them for making a localised, entertaining, emotional ad. My one issue is the talent. I think it's maybe a little bit on the nose to be having a male, middle-aged stalker, female protagonist, maybe a bit misogynistic, him mansplaining how to clean the house. I think it would have been maybe even more entertaining if that was a role reversal, if the young woman was schooling the man or a man was schooling another man. But other than that, I really love how dumb and silly it is, because for me, I actually remembered it, and he got so many proof points and use cases in a really emotional, funny way. So it worked on me.
I think there's this like unintentional nuance in the storyline of being like, oh, like he is mansplaining to her, and she's by the end, she's like, oh, come on. But also for different viewers, it'd be like, of course an old man is telling me what to do. But for older viewers, they'd be like, oh, of course a millennial's not listening to us. So it's kind of funny that different viewers would view that situation differently, and I don't think that's an intentional
Yeah, that's
part
what
of
I thought
they
when
did.
I saw that ad. Unintentional nuance. When they aren't peeping over your fence, CLR offers to answer your cleaning questions by text. Who would use that? We would. We texted, CLR, my neighbour won't stop bothering me. Will CLR clean up bloodstains? And CLR, to their credit, actually responded, murder is a crime. CLR won't help you clean the stain that could avoid you doing time.
Oh, that's good.
Smiley face. Frowny face. I thought the ad should have ended like this.
Looks like a CLR problem to me.
Told you so. Works on calcium, lime, scale and rust.
Goodbye, annoying stains. CLR.